Imported brake drums are unaffordable. They are handmade and more cost-effective. The small workshop in Pakistan only recycles scrap iron and remakes it. After their simple processing, they can create such a durable brake drum. This simple open-air workshop in Peshawar mainly uses scrap steel as raw materials. In order to melt it into molten iron, people first use hammers to break it into pieces, which can be convenient for transportation and speed up the melting speed. Under the master's very hard knocking, the scrap iron must be weighed uniformly so that the amount of molten iron in the furnace can be well controlled. It must be transported to the mouth of their melting furnace through an elevator. At this time, the scrap iron blocks cannot be directly melted. In order to extract purer molten iron, the master must first select the right proportion of rubber charcoal and lay the bottom of the melting furnace. The rubber charcoal can not only provide heat during the combustion process, but also the generated carbon monoxide is a good reducing agent. After the master ignites the wood at the bottom with a liquefier, the bottom entrance must be blocked to ensure that the temperature in the furnace will not drop. After confirming that it is correct, scrap iron blocks are thrown into the furnace for addition, so that there will be enough molten iron when pouring. In the process of turning the iron blocks into molten iron, the reused sand and soil need to be screened so that they can be mixed with engine oil through their mixer to make the sand and soil have a certain viscosity. After the mixed sand and soil meet the use requirements, Fu first sprinkles talcum powder on the brake drum. The main purpose is to prevent the sand and soil from absorbing on the surface. Then fill all the sand and soil into the iron ore mortar. In the case that the inside is easy to be hollow, Fu will manually compact it. The probability of defective products. After the master skillfully rolls it flat, it is completed at the bottom of the mold. This kind of yarn column mold generally adopts a double-layer design. The main purpose is to remove the brake drum in the position, and it will not cause damage to the mold. Then a certain number of air holes are pierced on the surface. The gas generated by the rubber column can be discharged. After the brake drum is demolded, the mold has been shaped to prevent the mold from cracking and collapsing due to high temperature. Before the column, it is also necessary to use a liquefier to heat it. The sand inside the mold can solidify. After all these tasks are completed, the mold has been simply replicated. After the scrap iron is melted into molten iron, the molten iron needs to be divided through the glue column system and then poured into the mold. Although they do not have professional auxiliary equipment, the entire operation is very skilled. After the internal molten iron is leveled at the mouth of the glue column, in order not to occupy their iron ore sandbox, it needs to be placed outdoors for cooling after demolding to avoid the brake drum with temperature and cracking. The blank key needs to wait for 12 hours of cooling. The master also needs to knock with a wolf head to remove the sand on the surface to avoid affecting the lathe processing. After the surface of the brake bone is spotless, in order to make the inside reach the required smoothness, it is necessary to use a lathe tool to directly remove the surface layer. However, this will make the thickness of the brake bone thinner. Their mold has reserved space for processing in advance, which is also the reason why the master has a large amount of knife. The data after cutting can meet the standard for use. The outer side of the brake bone needs to be in contact with the wheel bone. The locking fit is tight and the edge part needs to be cut flat and smooth. In order to avoid gaps between the wheel hub and the brake wheel and the inner edge still having a silky connection, a bench drill should be used with their hole mold to drill a suitable hole in the brake wheel. Because the edge of the hole is very sharp, the drill should be used to tamp and cut to avoid affecting the fixing of the bolts. For some small sand holes on the outside, tweezers should be used for simple leveling. The brake wheel looks smoother. The brake wheel is very easy to rust. In order to facilitate storage, a layer of anti-rust machine should be sprayed. It can improve the overall aesthetics. After waiting for the surface paint to dry completely, the brake bone cast by scrap iron glue has been produced. What do you think of the quality of such a brake bone?